Good morning, my students, and welcome to your English class. Today we're going to continue with the numbers, but in this occasion, we're going to see and we're going to memorize and learn a new number. Okay? We're going to leave number 1 and number 2. We're going to leave them to rest a little bit because today, yes, we are going to see a new number, and also the fruits, we're going to leave them a rest because we're going to concentrate on vegetables, okay? But let's start with the numbers. The number of this occasion, the new number, is called number 3. And number 3 is like a snake. Remember, snakes are animals. Okay, that's a snake. And the snakes, they look similar to number 3. Okay, so before we start with the vegetables, let's count from number 1 to number 3. For this, the teacher is going to start and you have to repeat after me. Let's see. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay, very good. Number 3 is the new number. So let's start. Now, the pages for today are 2. This one, which contains vegetables, and the second page, okay? For the first page, we have, like I mentioned it before, we have vegetables. Now, the name of this vegetable is called onion, okay? Please repeat after me, my children. Onion. Now, let's see how many onions are here. 1, 2, and 3. They are 3 onions. So that's why here on top of it, we have number 3. Okay? Very good. So remember, the teacher works on the whiteboard, and you have your teddy book, so you can do it at home. Let's see. Remember that we have to join all the little dots so we can see number 3. You have to join, unir, you have to join all of the dots so number 3 can appear. So once you have finished joining all number 3s, once you have finished joining all number 3s, we can concentrate on the vegetables. Now, in this occasion, we are going to continue with the tomatoes, and don't forget to grab your pencil case and to start painting. Now, for tomatoes, tomatoes are color red, okay? But sometimes we can use color green because tomatoes contain a leaf on top of it. So the leaf of the tomato, we can paint it with color green. Okay? And the tomato itself is completely red. So once again, remember, there are 2 ways to paint, side by side or up and down. In this occasion, the teacher is going to paint side by side. Side by side. And don't forget, while you are painting, please repeat tomatoes because that's the name of the vegetable. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are color red. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are color red. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are color red. Tomatoes are color red. Once you have finished painting your tomatoes with color red, remember that on top of the vegetables we have a number. Now this number, which is a new number, is number 3. Now for number 3, you can paint it with any color that you want. In this occasion, the teacher is going to use color blue. Color blue for number 3. Color blue for number 3. Color blue for number 3. Excellent. So once you finish painting it, we have tomatoes and the number 3. Let's continue with the second page. Now on the second page, like I told you before, we have the onions. Now in the case of onions, onions are color green. But before we start painting, we have to do the most important part of the activity, which is join number threes. So once again, with your pencil, you have to join all dots so we can have the number 3. Okay? And please remember that you have to repeat number 3, number 3, number 3. Excellent. So once you have finished tracing all number 3s, let's concentrate on the vegetable. The vegetable in this occasion are onions. So onions have 2 colors. The most predominant color is white, but in this case we have to use a color because color white we can't see it. So we have to use color green for onions. Remember, you have to say onions are color green. Onions color green. Onions color green. Onions color green. Okay, and once we have painted our onions with the color green, we have to count to make sure what is the next number. 1, 2, and 3. What number is it? Number 3. Excellent. So once you have painted your onions, the last part of the activity is to paint the number 3. Remember, number 3 you can use any color that you want. In the case of the teacher, I am going to use color red. And you have to say number 3 color red. Number 3 color red. Number 3 color red. And that's it. So before we go, let's review one more time the number and the vegetables of this day. Let's start with the number. Number 3. Okay? Number 3. Number 3. And what are these? These are tomatoes. Please repeat after me. Tomatoes. Okay? Once again, number 3. Number 3. And what are these? These are onions. Please repeat after me. Onions. Excellent. So that will be all for today. Remember to work hard, to remember and to learn all of these objects and numbers. Goodbye, and we'll see you tomorrow.